Is Victor Mama's new signature shoe as good as him? Or is it, excuse my French, kind of utter dog shit? What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Stash Trooper, aka... And today we are reviewing the GT Hustle 2, aka Victor Wemby'S signature shoe. Cut them out. So yeah, here we have the Nike GT Hustle 2s, which originally retail for $170, but you can find them on decent discounts for around $135, $140 right now in certain colorways like this one. And then before I get into the review, I always talk about sizing real quick. And for these, I usually wear an 11. I got an 11 in these, and an 11 fits perfect. So in other words, these fit true to size. So without further ado, let's review the Victor Mama shoe. So off rip, we always go and look at the looks slash swag rating. And again, looks slash swag rating is not something that is an objective statistical measure. This is more of a subjective thing. So some people might love these, some people might not. For me personally, I am like not disliking the shoe. I kind of like it, but it's not nearly as clean as some of the other hoop shoes on the market right now. It kind of reminds me of like that puffer jacket slash Harden-esque material right here. I do like the pink. I think the outsole is probably the most fire part of the shoe, but again, who's really looking at that? And then overall, the shaping, it just kind of looks a little funky in my opinion. So while it is not a bad looking shoe per se, I would say that these are a solid 6 out of 10. And real quick, comment down below what you would rate these in regards to looks. I'm kind of curious to how you guys feel about them. But for me, 6 out of 10 I think is pretty reasonable. So, on to the next. Next, let's talk about materials. So for the GT Hustle 2, the upper is made up of a combination of high quality mesh, which is like this part right here, and just a textile upper. So we like that. The combination of high quality materials feels amazing on foot and provides wonderful breathability. That is one thing I will say. On top of this, the GT Hustle 2 does feature this almost foam-like tongue. It's going to be hard to capture it on camera, but you're just going to have to trust me on this one. But the material of the tongue is almost foam-like, and at first I didn't really understand why, but it is to provide extra breathability, which they actually have some holes in the tongue right there. And then on top of this, it is just to help with lace tension, because I know with some shoes, if you tighten them a lot, it'll end up pinching right here, but because it's foam, it actually absorbs all that tension and feels good on feet. And then in regards to the traction materials, it's nothing too crazy. It's Nike's traditional rubber in a combination of translucent and solid rubber. So overall, pretty solid materials. I would almost say great materials. So I will give these a solid 8 out of 10 in regards to materials. And next we move on to the most captivating section in this one, which is the traction. Now the traction pattern of the GT Hustle 2 is pretty weird, man. It's almost like a polka dot pattern with herringbone traction pattern within the polka dots, which, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, makes zero sense intuitively. For the performance of the traction, I would say on clean courts, you're not going to run into many issues. When I got to use it on a clean court, felt pretty good. No slippage, laterally, front, back, everything felt pretty solid. But one thing I will say is, I think on dusty courts, which is, I primarily play on dusty courts because the place I go to doesn't like to take care of their courts. But on dusty courts, these, I'm telling you, are not good. Because of the reduced surface area, due to like only half of the shoe is probably hitting the floor, that's then less space for the shoe to catch traction on the ground. And then that means just less space that can be dust free. So on a dusty court, you're really not going to have too much fun in these shoes. The outsole just gets clouded with the dust really easily. So good courts, good. Dusty slash mid courts, not so hot. Unless, of course, you just wipe like every other possession. But overall, traction, nothing crazy, but nothing too bad. As long as you have a good court, you'll be solid. But if not, these aren't too solid. Therefore, mid 7 out of 10 in regards to traction. Next, move on to the highlight of the shoe, which is the cushion setup. Now, the cushion setup of the GT Hustle 2s are pretty stacked. I use this combo of a Nike Phylon midsole accompanied by a full-length Zoom Strobel unit, which, let me tell you, feels hot on the court. And like I said, bro, performance-wise, this is hands down the highlight of this shoe. Probably one of the best cushion setups, or one of my favorite cushion setups of 2023. Felt super low to the ground, which is kind of unexpected with crazy good cushion setups, while also providing that great impact protection. So in simple terms, if you don't know what I'm talking about, felt like pillows on my feet. So overall, I don't want to glaze too much or do any tricks on it. So I will say that these are a solid 9 out of 10 in regards to cushion. And lastly, we move on to what I believe to be the most lacking part of this shoe, which is the support. Now, usually in this section, like I do with most sections, I talk about the technology in regards to what I'm talking about. But in this department, they don't have any spring plate. They don't have any shank plate. They don't have any lateral caging. There's essentially no lateral support technology. But like if you're someone like me who is not insanely athletic or not super humongous, I'm only like 180 pounds on a bad day, you're not going to run into many problems. Like my ankles are pretty solid. I'm not a humongous individual. But if you are in fact a humongous individual, really athletic or super shifty, making hard cuts, then I would say maybe don't get this shoe. I think there are a lot of other options on the market that are more fit for super athletic players or just heavier individuals. So overall, I think the worst part of the shoe, I'm going to give these like a decent 6 out of 10. I could go lower, but I'm feeling generous. And lastly, what we talk about is the weight of the shoe. Now, I don't get super technical like some other shoe reviewers do. I'm not that advanced. I'll just tell you how it feels. Out from 1 to 5, I'll give these a solid 3. I'd say they feel fairly average. I might even go to a 2.5, but I won't. I would say just about an average hoop shoe. You're not going to get a heavy one. You're not going to get a super light one. Solid 3 out of 5 in regards to the weight. So, bang, man, overall, these get a pretty decent 7.18 out of 10, which by no means is a bad rating. But it is definitely not one of the best or even a great performer of 2023. While this shoe does feature one of what I believe to be the best cushion setups of 2023, it does have a lot lacking in regards to, I think the traction pattern is just iffy, alongside just the lateral support not existing and just the weird-ish funky looks of the shoe. So if you guys are thinking about getting these, I definitely don't think it is the best option for 140 or 170. I think there are a lot of better options out there. I will be releasing a video soon talking about the best hoop shoes of 2023. Let me know if you want that. But these are definitely not one of them. If you love the looks of the shoe and you play on pretty clean courts and you don't need a ton of lateral support, then I think this shoe would be perfect for you. But I would say for most individuals, there are better options on the market. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I think I will return these because after this review, I don't see too much use out of these. So yeah, man, 7.18. Let me know how you feel about that. But I appreciate y'all for watching this far because not a lot of people do. If you could like, comment, subscribe, I would appreciate it immensely. Stash Man and Victor Hoochie Mama's shoe out.